Hi everyone. Well, I thought I'd take you along for the ride with Tessa and me getting in there and cleaning up. You know, Tessa's brilliant out of her enclosure, and she's getting much better, of course, in her enclosure, but she likes to be pretty sure that it's nothing that she can eat. It's not so much about her being defensive to me, it's about food. So Tessa, am I going to be able to come in there and I'm sure you really appreciate me cleaning, would you not, up your mess? And the sooner that you realize that it's actually Mum, and there's the camera, can you see yourself in the camera? She gets a little bit funny also, guys, when it comes to seeing herself. It's like, is that another snake in here? Or it just plain out, is that another snake? A little bit like her seeing the reflection of herself or my eyeball in the glasses. She's not really overly impressed with that either. But as you can see, she's moving back a little bit at this particular point and letting me know that, yeah, I'm sort of tweaking that this is not a food, but it will be today actually, Tessa. Well, I thought I might get or let Tessa get Tessa. Probably more likely get Tessa out rather than let her out. I do not have my hook with me right now, do I, girl? Hey, you going to come on out? You've been looking like you've been wanting to come out. I want to, and you've made a mess, so I think it would be a really good idea if you actually came out for me, so I can look at cleaning up your mess for you. Even though a lot of the time I would probably just leave Tessa sitting up there on her hammock while I do that, but I wanted to get her out, and I want to talk a little bit about actually, you know, living with snakes. Not just I have them and they're here, and sure, I care for them and take care of them, but I live with them every day. From the moment I put my feet, I don't know what you're looking at. I guess I could flip the screen over, could I not? I'm probably seeing that her head's a little bit on the blur. Hey, but the lighting's not that good, sweetie. So I would really like you to come on out. I don't want her to actually strike at my camera either, but the best way for me to actually get Tessa out is to get her moving rather than her being actually focused on me. She's come an extremely long way to what she was in terms of being able to get her out, and I can't really sit my camera there because there's a pile of little poop there, and I don't particularly want to get it. I'll flip this over so I can see, and I know it's not exactly bright, and not get the poop there. So could you please move, because I would really like you to Can you look down this way and not so much at Mum? Like, come on. Please come on out. Like, I would really like you to just come on out, and there'd be no tug of war, and there'd be no don't touch me scenario. Just the once, baby girl. I'm not food today. I'm just me. And as you can see, she's not looking like she's going to pounce on me or bite me. This is her being, what you doing, Mum? Not defensive. This is just not defensive at all. When Tessa is defensive, you know she's defensive. She goes into that S mode and she is tuned into my hands, and she is right now, but she's not in defensive mode. This is still her very curious mode. So keep coming. Or do I actually have to get the hawk to make you move a little bit? I'll be right back. But this is very much my everyday. You know, I just have to get her going around that way. It's more about just getting her to think about something else other than it's actually me. Once she does that, it's not so hard. You know, I don't really worry about her. Well, but I don't like her being all twisted either. So can we untwist you, darling? Like, I don't like you all upside down. I'm just untwisting her. Guys, it must be very uncomfortable for her to be all twisted. And then I just, you know, she's getting long as well. Give me your tail. Give me your booty. This is all a part of living with snakes, is getting them out. No matter how difficult some are, and others, of course, are not so difficult. But Tessa, she is at times. So I'm about to grab the camera. And bring her on over where we can see a whole lot more of her. Not so much of me, but a whole lot more of my Tessa, who, you know, has been my one, if you've watched from the very start when I got her, being only, you know, that 8 months of age, and a very a defensive girl she was when she first arrived. And I think the first time that she was actually handled, which was just prior to going into her, I'll try and lean back a bit, into her enclosure, Noah was the first one to get a bite, and he's actually copped a couple from Tessa in the time that I've had her. And I think I've been bitten twice from Tessa, but when she was much smaller than this, and I really knew straight away, well, I already knew for myself anyway, that, you know, she's going to be a big girl, and this is a snake that you do not want to have as a defensive, snappy snake when they're a big girl. Now, she's, you know, she's a Bredli. She comes from more the upper middle, South Australia, up that way, up into the warmer climate. Now these carpet pythons are known to lay an enormous amount of eggs, and from memory I know they can lay about 60 eggs. That's a lot of baby Bredlis. But they're only one that can lay that amount of eggs of our species here of the Morelia. So, you know, thinking about actually letting her have babies is a bit of a scary thought for me. All 60 babies. I'm not saying her first litter would be, of course, that amount, but she'd still have quite a few when she's bigger, and yeah, 60 babies. Even though I was told that she was hypomelanistic, I don't believe that she's that at all. She's, of course, after she shed, she's much lighter, and she hasn't had a shed for a little while. But all that hypomelanistic is a morph, absolutely a morph, and it's just a much lighter red and very little black going in their brown, and well, not darkening up that brown. Hey, so living with snakes. Sure, I live with them, but I try to learn a lot about each and every species that I have. But you do know that the basis of my videos is not just, I guess it's a bit of the caring about them that I put in there, but it's very much how I live with them and how I've chosen to live with them, and that is as a part of my family. And of course I've excuse me, done the video about where we should consider them more as a household pet than something that is very different to have in our lives, because I don't see them as being any different in my life to having my dogs and my cats. I'm observant of their needs and what they want and how they are, and yeah, doing what I need to do to keep them happy. That's what it is all about. I would not feel right if I didn't get up and have one snake out with me over the day. Sometimes I have 2 or 3 snakes out with me over the day. It would be very unusual, and I do get a day where none of them are really interested in coming out. Of course I could coax one of them to come out, but I don't always do that. But I would say that 95% of my days are spent with one of my snakes out with me. And as you know, not me just holding them, but letting them do their own thing. So what can I say about living with snakes? I've always liked my home to be very calm and very peaceful because of what I do, which is take care of foster children that struggle in life, have a lot of stress and a lot of anxieties in their lives. And I can truly say that I get a snake out and I can have a child that has just been through the worst episode of feeling distressed in their life about something that they remember happened to them. I get a snake out and it's instant reaction to calm. I have seen it happen over and over and over again. And I know that I use my snakes as therapy here with the kids. I do all of the time. And I also know and am aware of many others that also consider their snakes as their therapy on a daily basis. And why not? They are calm. Now this, you know, Tessa, she's given me a hard time in her life over the time that I've had her. But look at her now. Can't get any more peaceful than what she is. She is actually calmer with me holding her than a mare. And I'll put a little clip in so you can see the difference. But this is what I enjoy the most and what I find to be the most relaxing, though she is taking off on me now, and I'm going to have to, of course, get her to come back, because that ain't going to work, my darling. This way. All that. She's a little bit like Tessa. Sorry guys, I've just thrown you down there. She's a little bit like Tessa in terms of she does not like her tail being grabbed at all. Very much one of those kinds of snakes as I get her sorted back over here, and remember to not, or try not to tap her on the tail. Tessa, who doesn't come out of her enclosure without me doing a little bit of the poke and the prod to her, when she comes out, she's golden. Ain't you, darling? Hey, you've been a good girl. I'm very, very happy with her behaviour and the way that she is, and how she's turning out, and that head, the jowls, well, I call them her cheeks, jowls, are huge. And that's what the Bredlis get. They get these really big, I mean, all carpets get these big buffy heads, but Bredlis get these really buffy jowls. And so do rough scales too. They're a little bit the same. Her scales are smooth, but you can feel them. But I just find the touch and the feel soothing in itself. So don't discount them as being therapy to people who suffer with stress and anxiety. I wouldn't say that they'd never have a stressful moment in their life, but what I would say is there'd be a lot less moments of anxiety if they could get one of their snakes out and have time with it. So I know a lot of people are scared of them, but I know a lot of people with anxiety and stress can't live without them. That they have become therapy, and the best therapy they'll ever have, and the cheapest therapy actually. But what you need is a beautiful, calm, social snake. So put the work in, spend the time with them, love them, care for them. And they know that they're very much loved and cared for by you. And that's when they respond back to you with a lot of love too. People say snakes can't love. Not in the sense that we do, no. No, they don't. Can they bond with us and show love in a different way by trusting us? And I mean giving us full trust, guys. Yes, I think that they can. So, this girl is going to get to do some climbing today, which I know she's going to love because she always does. But I want you to all take care of yourself and your family, your friends, your snakes, and all your animals. I was just looking for one of my cats. She's up there on Jack's enclosure. So guys, ciao, even though I've sort of cut most of me off today, but yeah, bye.